My name is Amy Utsman, and I am a professional medium and psychic, and have been working as a professional medium now for just over 10 years. I am also certified under Lisa Williams as a teacher for psychics and mediums. When the New York Times article came out February 26th, I wanted to address it. And so tonight we're here to speak about how do you know when a medium is making a true connection? And the New York Times article that I'm referring to is Inside the Sting Operation to Expose Celebrity Psychics. And that again was written by the New York Times. I just want to say very clearly here, this is my experience, my philosophy of being in the field for this many years. And just like any field, there are fraudulent people and there are those that are in service or with good intentions. And so what we did was we broke out the categories so I can help you know that you are working with a true medium or psychic. And here on out, I'm really going to refer to mediums. The first category is going to be, for some people, obvious, and for some people not. And that is actual fraudulent mediums. These are people who really, they're not mediums. They will ask you to come in. They will, if you make an appointment with them, they will often want you to see you in person. They will want you to pay cash. And they will usually tell you big, bad, scary things. You know, these are very predatory. They will say things like, oh, I know you've had a traumatic loss and that person is not in a good place. Oh, I need to pray for you. They may sell you candles to do so. And you might be in there with them for 15 minutes and they say, no, 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 we have more work to do. Please lay aside more cash. You know, we have people like this. They're online too, actually. And so what will happen in this instance is it's not over yet. You may leave after 30 minutes and what's going to happen? You're going to feel upset. You're going to feel worried about your loved one. You know, you're going to be scared for them, you know, and you're going to have those thoughts. What can I do? I need to make sure my loved ones are okay. This is exactly what they are trying to evoke from you, because they want to engage you in a relationship where you just keep coming back and pay more and buy things, candles, and give us some of your jewelry and give us some of your money so I can bless it for you. That way I have a connection to your loved one. This is categorically false. This is not mediumship at all. I want to be clear. I have had clients that have run into this and I have had them call the police. So if anybody gives you a set price for a time and you don't go over that time, but they kind of try to keep you going and they just want more money, or they call you after a reading, you know, and they tell you these things, be cautious and really think that through. You know, that is a big red flag. Readers do not generally call their clients after a session. A true medium is not going to want to be working with you every single week. It doesn't work that way. We don't need items from you to bless them. So please do not fall for those scams, okay? In my experience, our loved ones are way better off than we are. We don't need to do things to cross them. We don't need to be doing blessings for them. They do love when we pray for them. They do love when we speak to them. But you don't need a medium to have that kind of daily conversation with them. You can do that too. So that is the most obvious of frauds. And you've seen it on the news. You've seen people get arrested for it. It may, just like any industry, it makes all of us now look bad. And that's truly not the case. The next scenario in the fraudulent category we have two, and you're going to hear about these two often. You hear about hot readings and cold readings. And I want to define these for you, and I'm going to give you an example of each one. Now, these hot readings and cold readings in this area are by people who are not mediums. This is the one I'm referring to in this, because cold reading will come up again later. With a hot reading, an individual has gone online and found out all of your information. Now, what's tricky about this is they will speak like a medium. They will feign compassion. They will use words that seem spiritual. They will make you, feel good about it. And you will feel like, wow, oh my gosh, it's amazing. But how do you spot this? Well, if the information is 100% accurate, then you have to wonder. I mean, if every single detail is absolutely 100% accurate, you have to wonder, because no true medium is 100% accurate. That includes me. So no medium is 100% accurate. I often will tell people there are going to be some no's in this reading. I need to know about the no's. So that is important. So, but I want to also be very clear that there are extraordinary mediums out there that do get names and dates. So how do we separate this out, right? It goes like this. So I just want to share with you that actually, I think it was last night, Nancy and I decided to do a look online about with her grandfather. He passed in 1994. Okay, so we thought, I know him from the other side. I never met him here. And so we thought we probably won't find much, but we were shocked at what we found in 5 minutes. And so I can tell you that I know him as one name. I got his full name here. I can tell you that he was born in 1991, born in 1901. And news to me, but he had 7 siblings. So right here in 5 minutes, I find out he's born in 1901. He has 7 siblings. I have some of their names here. Sarah and Annie are here. He married Anne. They had 3 children, and 2 out of the 3 children are named right here. He passed in 1994 at the age of 93 in California. I'm like literally reading. Look, this is what we found. I'm not kidding. First page, Google, 5 minutes. He has a son who also passed. And right here is his son's name. And he was born in Toronto and passed in Massachusetts at the age of 43. So within minutes, I have all of this information. And so here is what it could come across in a hot reading. Okay. I have a gentleman coming through. I'm hearing the name, an A name, wait. I'm hearing the name Abraham, but I also hear the name Aaron. Now, I want to go to California with Aaron, and the year 1901 is coming up. And I know that he had 3 children. And I also, I'm tied to California with this man, and he's giving me the year 1994. But he's also referencing Anne. And wait, I feel as though he has a young man on the other side, perhaps a son. I feel he has a son with him, and I'm hearing the name Mark. And Mark, as I hear the name Mark, I'm hearing Harvard. And, in 1967, okay, so as you see, I'm delivering this in a way that most readings go, but the difference is I'm giving you a lot of facts. Nothing wrong with facts. We want facts in a reading. What we're not getting in some of these, in these hot readings, what you don't get is the personality of the individual. That will not come through. Now, I know this man from the other side, and I know him to be jovial. He's very funny. He's very lively. He's very active. He's also a devout man. And that's what I know about him. Some of these things that, actually most of this paper, I learned the other night. And so the differentiator in a hot reading is, do they bring through personality? Do you feel like your loved one is right there? Or do you feel it's a spouting off of just facts? Have they talked to you? Has the medium talked to you about something present day that no one else knows about? That's not online anywhere. There's no video, there's no pictures of a party. You know, do they know about that? Does the loved one bring through just a special moment where it was just between you and them, even though that they're on the other side? You know, we're looking for nuanced details in a true connection. It's amazing to spout off facts, and we do want facts in a reading, you know, also referred to as evidence. We do want those, but we also want the true, bringing that true individual back to life for a moment. And so what happens after a hot reading is you feel like you're blown away. How could you not be? How could they know all of these things? And then sometimes you go, that was almost too good to be true. And you go and you look up your information and you see it all laid out there. That does not feel good, and that does not bode well for true mediums. And I'm here to tell you that true mediums with ethics and professionalism do not do this. So this is why I'm so passionate about this. I mean, you can probably sense it right here, you know, and I'm not calling out anyone, but it does happen. So there's a third piece to fraud, and it's a flat out cold reading. This can also be done by somebody who refers to themselves as a mentalist. They can do it too. So they pretend to be a medium, but this is what they do, and they do it in groups all the time. And it's actually really fascinating to watch because, and this is where you come in as well. So let's just say there's an individual that pretends to be a medium and they're in front of a group. And what they're watching for is they're watching your body language, and they're looking to see how you respond. You know, they're watching, and for the ones that respond and are so eager, you're leaning forward in the chair, the tears are almost coming already. Why? Because you so badly want to hear from your loved one. Well, we all do. All of us do. Everybody has that anticipation, but you don't want to feed the medium. You don't want to give too much. Let them do that for you. You're there to have the connection. The medium should be doing the work, not you. Now, you can contribute with it makes sense or it doesn't make sense. It's important that you say no when it doesn't match up for you. You should not be worrying about how the medium feels if you say no. We need to handle that, not you. Okay? And I really want to emphasize that because I have so many people say to me that it's not making sense, but then I don't want to say. It's critical that you say no. Because if we need to readjust or reconnect or get more information from that person coming through on the other side, then we need to do so. And if it's not matching you at all, then perhaps we don't have a link. It's important, you know. When we go for a reading, we're absolutely vulnerable. But if we're too eager and we're providing all the information, somebody doing a cold reading has got you like this. So how does that go? Okay, it goes like this. There's a whole room full of people here. I have a man coming through that feels like a father. Anybody lost a father? How many people are going to lean forward? Perk up. And that person is scanning the room and sees this vulnerable woman sitting there, feeling emotional, just leaning forward already. Your father is coming through and he tells me how much he loves you so much. Yes, 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 that's my dad. I want to hear from my dad. But what has the medium really told you? Nothing, other than there's a man that has passed here and you've leaned forward and you're claiming your dad already. And so now this medium may go forward and say, now he tells me he died from the heart. Oh no, he had cancer. Yes, but it affected his heart. His heart stopped. Well, it's not, well, somebody's heart is going to stop when they pass away. But if you're saying no, that they had cancer and the person is pushing upon you and making it fit, then it's not really working, is it? That's not really the best way, is it? And in all of these instances, give me more money, call you, cold reading. Every single instance, what's happening in here is an individual is preying upon your emotions. They are taking advantage of your vulnerability. A true ethical medium will not do that. We care too much. The next area is where it gets a little bit fuzzy. These are mediums who are in the early stages of development. And so, you know, mediumship is not easy. It takes years to develop, just like any other skill. It's a gift and a skill. Very much like an artist who's a natural artist and they develop their skill, or an athlete, natural athlete, but they develop their skill. Mediumship is no different, and it takes years to develop it. And what happens is, in this stage, is mediums mean well, they do, but we need to touch on this because at this stage, many mediums get called out for cold readings, and they're not intentionally doing cold readings. And I want to be clear about this because too many people across the board are called out for doing cold readings, and it is not intentional and it's not meant to cause harm. But it does look like a cold reading, but they're not really doing a cold reading. So what may happen in the earlier stages of development with mediumship is a couple things. One is the medium makes a connection, and then they look to the sitter to provide that feedback in order for them to keep going. Okay, because as a medium, you're vulnerable and we rely on that yes and no, frankly. But when we're developing, we're very nervous about doing readings. You're very nervous. And if a person is giving you the yes, then that helps your confidence and builds it. If a person is not giving you much, what may happen is the medium is just building based on expression, or they may inadvertently go psychic and pick up information, and it fluctuates between a medium and psychic link. Okay, I want to reiterate again, this is not intentional, but it does happen. And like I said, there are so many mediums out there doing this. So in a cold style reading, the medium relies on your body language to kind of build that connection here with the other side. That's the mediumistic part, is connecting with the other side. Psychic is when you're connecting here with the individual. So I can be connecting with your energy and getting information about you. That's more about you though. Now, what may happen in between this cold and, you know, this medium psychic phase, what may happen is I might have connected with your mother. So I have a woman coming through and connecting with your mother. And my link is not as strong as I would like it to be because I'm still figuring it out and I'm still learning and I'm practicing. And in your mind, you think, oh, cakes. She loved cakes. And the medium may pick that up from you and say, she's telling me about cakes. And you go, yes. Now there's some confidence here and the medium can go more. Now, in this stage with development, and we can only hold our energy for so long. And what you'll find is that you'll find the compassion. You will leave feeling good, but maybe wanting a little more. That's okay. And you will still feel like you had that connection. This is important to differentiate because when you're in a fraudulent, purely fraudulent way, in that situation, after you leave, it's like you have a fall. It doesn't feel good. Something doesn't feel quite right. You don't feel the true compassion. You have too many questions. Like it doesn't even necessarily feel good to you or authentic. With a developing medium or medium in the earlier stages, because we're always developing, frankly, but in the earlier stages, you're going to feel that love and compassion for them because we do this because we care. We are here to be in service. And so you will feel that authenticity. Maybe you'll want a little more depth out of the reading. Totally understandable. And they will get there as they further develop, just like I did, as I developed over these years. Okay. So there's a true difference in the feeling. And I will say to you guys, trust your gut, trust your intuition, trust your feeling. The same holds true in really in a reading too with mediums in their earlier stages. Is you want to give some feedback, but you don't want to give the whole story away. You never want to give the whole story away. We have to do that for you. As a matter of fact, I'm here to tell you from our end, I don't need to know the whole story. That's between you and your loved one. I'm just the middle person to give you some information and make that connection. So if I bring through a gentleman that's passed of the heart and you go on and tell me, oh yes, he had, 5 heart attacks, 3 surgeries, and he was in a hospital twice a year for the last 5 years. And at the same time, he's telling me I've been in a repeating cycle in the hospital. I was sick a lot and had many procedures. I can't say that now. He can't say that because you've already said it for him, right? You don't want to give too much information. So the best you can do here is say, I understand that. I'm not sure. Yes. I'll have to check into that. No, that doesn't fit. That's for any reading. But please do go with your gut and trust your gut on this. The last piece here really is mediums with well-developed skills. And notice that we are using the term skill because it is a gift and a skill. We have to work at it to develop it. So what you get in a more developed reading is you're going, first off, that don't need to see you at all. As a matter of fact, I'm just looking at myself here tonight right now. So you don't, phone readings work, video readings work. You don't need to be in person. Okay. That's, you just don't need to be in person. And you have a greater flow of energy. You tend to get more than one person from the other side coming through. It may not be unusual to have more than one individual connect with you in a reading. But the difference is what you, the consumer, sitter, client, however you want to refer to yourself, is what you feel you got out of it. Does it feel like a good connection? Did you feel for a bit that your loved one was in the room with us or in the session with us? Right now, would you feel like your loved one was here with you right now if I was doing a reading for you? Or does it feel, or I'm not so sure about that one? Be honest, okay? When you have been doing readings for really long and you've been able to practice and a medium is developed, the flow is there. If you've seen John Edward work, it's really, really fast. Sometimes it's too fast for you to speak. And I want to also be clear about something else here. A medium cannot read everyone. So it's also very possible that you had a friend that had an excellent experience with the medium. You sign up for an appointment with that medium and it doesn't go well. Happens. We just cannot read everyone. Your loved ones on the other side have to trust us to be a medium for you, or there has to be a right communication style to match up. So if that happens, I want to make sure that you don't take that personally on you. I heard all these good things about this medium. I went and it was, okay. Please don't take that personally, because that's the first thing that happens is that you guys say, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. Maybe I'm just not the right medium for you, or this person or this person. Don't give up on mediumship. If you've heard good things, that medium has a good reputation, and you've had good personal referrals, and it doesn't go off you, don't necessarily give up on mediumship, and please don't blame it on yourself. Okay. Now, the one thing is, I have my own policy in how I deal with this, and I'm not going to speak for everyone here. I'm not speaking for all mediums ever, but this is my policy. When a reading does not work, or it just cannot be established, within 15 minutes, we ought to know if there's more no's than yeses, or it's just not working, the link is not there. So when a reading doesn't work, I usually give the client a couple options. First option is if they're not comfortable and they want a refund, they get a refund, period. Full refund. The other option would be to move it out and we try a different time. That's fine. So I always leave it up to the client and what they would like to do. My belief, an ethical belief, if a reading is not a reading and it doesn't feel good to me, it cannot feel good to the sitter. And if that's the case, it's not a reading, we don't charge. That's my personal feeling. And I would say the same way that you ought to sit with developed mediums, you ought to sit with a higher developed medium. It's the same thing. Yes, that makes sense. No, I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that, because things do come through that we don't know, that you don't know. Maybe you don't know all your family members, okay? But be honest, please be honest. It's really important. All the best. I hope we have helped to at least give you some empowerment and guidance on how to make sure that you're finding a medium that works for you, you know, help you clarify, are they making true connections, you know? And let's be fair about it. We all have to develop. It doesn't mean ill intent, but you should still come away feeling good from that. It's with those that don't have the good intent that you feel just a little not sure about, okay? So have a great evening, everyone. It's an honor for me to be able to answer these questions for you, provide some guidance, and I just love it. So thank you all so much. Have a great evening. Good night.